What is the difference between prompt engineering and just simply prompting these models? Let's start with a naive prompt. This is something that you might type in if you want a blog post. So write a blog post, prompt engineering. I'm just going to hit enter and it will do a pretty good job. And these models are really fantastic. They get better and better, and that leads some people to think eventually we won't need prompt engineering. But I think that's completely false, because these models are really smart, but you're not giving them any direction here. This is just a naive prompt. If 100 people type this in, they're going to get 100 very similar sounding blog posts. And there's not going to be any real context in there. There's not going to be any type of refinement to that prompt. And you need those sorts of things in order to get to something really good that's human level. Because what we don't want is an internet full of blog posts that are just the default average of the internet type response that we get from ChatGPT. Now, prompt engineering is really adding a lot of that secret sauce from your own skill, as well as testing what works reliably. Because if you're going to be generating one blog post, it doesn't matter that much. But if you're going to generate 100 in a day or 1,000 in a week, then you need prompt engineering, because if 10 in 100 of those 1,000 blog posts are wrong in some way or require human editing, you're not really saving yourself that much time. If you can get them as high quality as possible just by adapting the prompt template, then the higher quality translates to every single time you run that prompt template. So let me show you what an engineered prompt might look like. And this is the prompt that we're going to be working through on this course. And you're going to see how every part works together. But you can see there's a lot more information here. I'm setting a writing style. I'm using the hero's journey framework. I'm asking it to outline the story first. I'm starting the story for it, telling it I want a sci-fi type fantasy post rather than the generic average prompt engineering guide that you see out there. I'm also providing instructions to combat specific edge cases that I found where it's not writing long enough. And we're going to learn how to do all of these things and more, but just wanted to show you what this type of thing looks like. Here we have an outline, or it's broken down the whole narrative first, then it started to write the blog post, and you can see that it's writing much longer type text. So it's writing 2 paragraphs here for each section, because there's going to be 12 sections to the hero's journey stages. Then we're going to have something like a 1,000 to 2,000 word blog post. I'm going to show you how to do this, how to get to this more complicated prompt iteratively without taking too much time and effort. And once you get to this point, you'll be able to make prompts that are equally as reliable and get human level results, because most people, when they try ChatGPT and they say it's not very good, it's because they just don't know how to ask the right way. And that's what you're going to learn here. We're going to also dive into image generation as well, because we could do something similar there too. These principles apply to image generation as well as text generation. So I'm just going to paste in here, create an image that matches this blog post. This is the naive way to do it, because we want just an image that matches the blog post, and we already have a lot of prompting in the text side, so it's going to create a pretty good image. The cool thing about DALL-E and ChatGPT is that ChatGPT actually writes the prompt for you, makes it a bit more sophisticated, but we might not get the type of image we really want, and we're not really getting very much choice here. It's just going to create one image. So we can see here, this is a pretty cool image, and it looks futuristic, like the sort of thing we were looking at in terms of the blog post, so it does match pretty well. These are good results straight away. But a more optimized prompt might be something like this, where I've written my own image prompt. So I'm just pasting this in here. I'm asking it to create different matching images for this blog post in this style. And I'm talking about solar punk, which is a type of scene that I researched and found that I really like that visual style. And then I'm talking about what's actually happening in the image, giving a bit more understanding of the composition, telling it what's in the background, all sorts of different things. I'm just going to paste that in here, and then we'll see what type of image we get back. Cool. So here's the first image, and you can see it's a very different visual style. And we use prompt engineering to get here. This is the type of style that I wanted, and it's futuristic, but futuristic in a very different way. And you could try different styles once you understand. You could try different styles once you realize what words you need to use to elicit that style from ChatGPT and DALL-E. That's what you're going to learn. It's going to be transferable across not just text and image, but also video, audio, really any type of AI model now and way into the future.